Hello again and welcome back everybody to another edition of the Report. I am your Roll2IC, and today we're going to do a little talk about AI because it just seems to be popping back up in the news. Now, I did do in one of the headlines report where the Pentagon announced that it was in serious consideration of allowing fully autonomous weapons systems to have full control over basically itself, so fully autonomous. So that for me is a little concerning because now you're taking the human element out of it. There's no empathy, there's no compassion, there's no sense of what the situation actually is. And depending on how good this system is, depends on if that thing quote unquote pulls the trigger, okay? So, and you got to think about this too. Yes, it's going to be this massive supercomputer, but we're talking about first generation. We're not talking about 50 years from now on how fine tuned it is. We all know that that first vehicle or that first edition TV or whatever has a lot of bugs in the system. And to give something that power, it's a little concerning. Now, I'm going to go over five of my concerns, and there'll be overall concerns, and then I'll try and bring them back with each one to how they relate to us in the preparedness community. Now, first, I want to play a little clip, and this comes from the 1993, I believe, is when the movie came out, of the original and the first Jurassic Park. Now, quick disclaimer, I do not own rights to this. This is just for commentary purposes and things like that. But it is like a 1 minute little clip. And as you watch this, I want you to take out, because they're going to talk basically about dinosaurs and about genetics and things like that. Substitute that for AI and watch.
John, inherent in what you're doing here, genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
It's hardly appropriate to start hurling generalizations.
If I may, I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
All right, so when we just watched that clip, what did he say in that? He said you were so preoccupied with whether or not you could, you didn't stop and think if you should. And that brings up a lot into what we're talking about when it comes to AI. Everybody wants to be first. They want to be first out, and yet nobody wants to have the consequences. And that's what life all is. There is a action and then a reaction, and that reaction can have a good consequence or a bad consequence, but either way, something's going to happen because of it. So let's get into this. So, my five concerns. One is going to be privacy concerns. Now, when we're talking about the open source AI, the way that it gathers its intelligence is through data collection. And so that means there's not going to be any privacy for you. So it's going to go through every piece of data. So every social media thing that you have, even if it's deleted, it's still on the internet. Every picture, every camera, cell phone, text message, everything that is electronic and has some sort of connection ability, even if it is an old device that is not connected, if it has that ability, then there is the risk of the privacy concern there. And even if you are extremely careful, if you go out in public or you have somebody over that they have a phone, or you go to the ATM, it's got a camera of its own right there. So, I mean, privacy as it is right now, we take for granted that we can close the door and turn off our phone, and now we're in private times. And that's just not true. And with AI being able to compute millions and millions of images and words and data points in mere seconds, there's some major privacy concerns. So keep that in mind, because if you're talking about in the realm of preparedness, then there is no OPSEC. There is none. There is no taking $20 and going down and buying a box of ammo and nobody will know about it. Everybody will know about it. It's there's ways that you can be creative to maybe curtail it at the beginning, but it won't be for a long. So that's why that one hit first. Sec is going to be security risks. So the big one is going to be the hackers and different sort of bad actors in the way that they can maliciously use that. So if you have let's say a decent hacker, or some sort of a bad group of people, if they're able to harness and use AI to assist them in doing bad things, I mean, the limits are completely out there. You can do almost whatever you want, because once AI is developed, in my belief, in my opinion, it's that opening of the genie's bottle. You cannot put it back. And so once it's out there, it's out there. And if you can manipulate, or if you can get it to do what you're asking it to do, then, I mean, everything. So every bank account, all of your private information, and just think about everything that's on your phone. If you could on there, even if it's a government thing, so you get put on that you're a security risk, and AI is sent out after you, every single thing can be completely gotten within, blink of an eye, to the point of, geo tracking and everything. So it poses major, major security risks. Number three is going to be dependence. And so you watch the younger generation, and I've seen some of the older generation too. Some of the people that are older than I am, they are their dependence on AI is very concerning to me. Um, the way that it gives you that ability to save time, to let it do the thinking for you. I don't know how many times I sit there and watch somebody try and do a very simple, basic math problem, or something, pretty simple. And out of sheer laziness, it's easier just to pull out your plastic, monitoring device that we call a cell phone, and go, "Hey Google," or "Hey Siri," and ask it the question and let it answer it for us. And you get dependent on that because it's quick and simple. But is it right? We take that for granted, that you go, "Hey, whatever, what's 1 plus 1?" And it comes back 2. And you go, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 1 plus 1 is 2." And you do it over and over and over and over, until all of a sudden you go, "Hey, what's 2 plus 2?" And it goes 5. And you go, "Okay, 5." And you jot it down, because it's not wrong. And so the dependence on AI is very, very concerning, because that means you're taking less knowledge and less skill for yourself. And what we want is, we want more knowledge and more skill. Not to mention, one of the big concerns is the lack or loss of the human connection. I see all these things between Chat GPT, if I can talk, where you can talk with it. It's your friend. I've seen AI boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, yes, they have little disclaimers on them that say, it's not a real entity, and don't actually get feelings for it. But uh, you're talking to something that is a free app that learns about you, so it can over time gear the conversation to where you hear what you want. Now imagine somebody taking and downloading a AI girlfriend and chatting over the course of whatever 3 months, 6 months. It's learning about you every time you interact. It's listening to you. It's watching your pictures. It sees what you watch on YouTube and what you search, and it learns about you over that whole time. And then some hacker gets in there and starts manipulating what it says to you. Hey, it'd be a good idea if you went and did this, or if you did this thing over here, or hey, I think that that person that you talk to on Facebook, you should block them, or you should quit your job, or it's very dangerous. So, uh, yeah, try not to be dependent on technology or AI. Number four is going to be job placement. Displacement is probably the better word. So, yes, when you have mundane tasks, nobody wants to do it. When there was the Model T on the assembly line, and one of the workers would literally take item A and put a screw in it and put it back down on the conveyor belt for the next guy, that's a mundane task. And if you got that job at 20, and could you imagine trying to do that for 40 years straight of picking up item, put screw, put down, pick up item, put screw, put. That's why they develop machinery and robots to do this stuff, because nobody wants to do it. And a lot of times, especially when it comes to like spot welds and things, it can do it over and over and over, and really on a more consistent basis. It never calls off. It's never sick. You don't have to pay it any sort of insurance or you don't have to have life insurance on it. You don't have to worry that it's going to cause an accident. Uh, there's a lot. There's nothing about it other than the initial cost, because it's cheaper to maintain and more dependable than an employee ever is. So it's very concerning, because once job displacement comes in, and yes, I know there's a lot of it out there right now, but it's not mainstream to where it's really becoming that big threat yet. That's why we're talking about it, because once it really starts rolling out, then that takes away your income. If you have no income, then that becomes a problem for you, and then that makes you dependent on who? The government. And once you're dependent on the government, it's really, really hard to get off. And so if they start doing job displacement to where you don't have a job and you have to get some sort of basic earned income, then you're not going to be able to go find another job. And if you're dependent on AI, you don't have the skills to try and live off grid and do the things you need. So that kind of goes into my last one here, which is going to be ethical dilemmas. And one of my things, I was actually talking with somebody about this, and I did a short one where I downloaded one of the AI chat things, and I posted that. I'm not going to get into it. The conversation of it was just, I don't know. It was sad. It was shocking, but not shocking, if that makes sense. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. But we were talking. So who takes responsibility? So if uh, you get some sort of question to it, does it pick up the way that you talk in your lingo? So that way, if you use different slurs or different words that's not polite in public conversation, will it use it back to you? Maybe not now, but maybe in the future it will. But when it comes to, let's say, because the one that I'm trying to figure out how to do this without getting a slap on the wrist. So you have adults that are attracted to people underage, and if you can get on to a app and describe what you like, and it creates an AI generated picture, is that wrong? I mean, ethically, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. But it's not real. And even if it comes down to, well, it's real enough, you should be in trouble, okay? Well, then by who? Who takes responsibility for that? Because nobody took that image, it was generated. It's like art. So do you go after the creators of the app or whatever you're using? Because the app's just a tool. There's going to be a lot of ethical dilemmas, you know, especially you start getting into all these romantic different things, and there's a huge rabbit hole to go down that we will not get into on this video. But there's a lot to think about with this. And when you start putting all these together, I know this isn't going to be it for everyone. I know this is not going to be a popular video, but this is just to get you to think. Now, you may have thoughts that are different from mine, and that's completely fine. And you're more than welcome to go down to the comment section and share what I'm right on, what I'm wrong on, what you agree and disagree. That's the whole point. I completely understand that everybody is going to think different and everybody's going to have their own opinion. And I actually endorse adult civilized conversation. That's how things get done. So I just wanted to bring awareness. This is some of the things I'm seeing. I have a monstrous list. I could probably list 25 things I'm concerned about, but these are kind of like my top 5, and they're all interconnected, and it's a very big concern for me. So if you like it, if you don't like it, let me know down in the comment section. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that AI and drones and things like that has always been a concern, because when you have any sort of a conflict, usually you get to look at the person you're having a conflict with into the eye at some point in time. There is a human interaction. With AI or a drone or anything along those lines, especially if things go fully autonomous, there is no empathy. There is no human decision making. There is no dialogue. It's just going to be a frightening new world in my eyes. Could be completely wrong. Could be the greatest thing there is. Guess we'll find out. So, all right, that's all I've got. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you made it this far, congratulations for listening to me for 15 minutes ramble on about my concerns with AI. So, all right, guys, more information to come. Remember, remain united. We're all prepping in this together.